This is Let's Talk Business with your host, Mark Ebinger. Now, here's Mark.
Welcome to Let's Talk Business, the show that talks entrepreneurship with some of the best businesses in the San Antonio area. Coming up on the show today, we're going to talk with Emad Guirguis, a bookkeeping expert and the owner of SimpliBookkeeping. Emad, welcome back to the show.
Thanks again, Mark. Appreciate it.
Good to see you, man. End of the year's coming up, so we're going to go over some stuff that you guys can help businesses prepare for all of that. Not only the end of the year, but then the new year to come, right?
Yeah, best time of the year.
Yeah. We're also going to talk with Sean Pettit, the owner of Payroll Vault, a family-owned and disabled American veteran-owned business that provides payroll services. Sean, welcome to the show.
Oh, thank you, Mark. This is very exciting. Looking forward to it.
Yeah, a veteran-owned business here in San Antonio, right? Was chock full of veterans here.
Yeah, that's exciting.
Disabled American veteran-owned? We'll have to get into that, too. I'm curious about that. Mm-hmm. In studio with us today is Genevieve Sims, the owner of the Evolve firm, where she and her team provide brand development and design, web design, and social media services. Genevieve, great to see you again.
Great to be back. Excited.
Yeah, me too. Genevieve's actually taken over some of my, or helping out with a lot of the social media that we're doing as well. So we do some social media stuff. Genevieve is like an expert when it comes to local social media content and everything.
We're
going to be learning from each other,
that's
too.
A lot of expectations there.
Well, yeah, we set them high here, right?
Yeah.
If you're on this show, I don't know. And I'm your host, Mark Ebinger, the owner of Krukus Marketing Agency, a company that specializes in hiring virtual assistants, executive assistants from outside the United States. That's an interesting thing that I've got an event coming up on Tuesday that I'm doing, and we're walking out some of the idea behind. It's not just about hiring, and I know, seeing you're an expert in the hiring side of like hiring bodies, boots on the ground, so to speak, right? Or do you guys do any virtual staffing too, or no?
No, we do not. We do have one person that teleworks out of San Diego, and that's only because her husband's military and he's stationed down there. So
cool.
We thought for her sanity, she'd want to spend some time with her husband, so she does telework.
Yeah.
Great.
Well, it's very effective, but it's not as easy as people think it is, right? When it comes to hiring somebody like that, it's a whole mess. It actually takes us 2 weeks to hire somebody. That's how long. I'd be curious how long your process is too, but we'll get into that in a minute. But all right, a quick reminder for our listeners: you can catch video and podcast versions of the show anytime by visiting our website at satalkradio.com. And if you're a business owner in the San Antonio area and would like to have your company featured on the show, visit our website at satalkradio.com or call our office at 210-879-8804. That's 210-879-8804, and we can get you hooked up from there. So, social media, Genevieve, is it important or no?
Absolutely important. And it's not so much as the likes that you're getting or the amount, the quantity. It's more the quality that you're putting out there. And of course, even if people are in the market to purchase, the fact that you're putting content out every day, it makes a huge difference for every small business owner, right? Don't you guys agree?
Absolutely.
Oh, absolutely, for sure.
Yeah, I think that, but what is the difference that it actually makes, right? So is it like people do their due diligence, right? So if I was going to check out a bookkeeper, right, and go to your website, right, well, I want to see, because a website's a website, right? How active is the website? But by going to your social media, I can see how plugged in are you, how relevant are you in that space. So if you're posting actively, like Genevieve's saying, then it's like, okay, they're active, their business is going on. You can see a little bit now. Seeing I've checked out yours, you can see some behind the scenes with your folks that you've got going on, some things you're involved in. Didn't I see one with Halloween? There was like some kind of Halloween thing going on.
Yes,
as well.
Mm-hmm.
So community, you care about different aspects, not just all business type of stuff, right? And I think people are looking for that. What are your thoughts, Emad?
Oh, absolutely. It also helps certain potential candidates or clients when they're looking kind of on Mark's point. They check out not only your website, but they check out all your social media, see how you present, who you are, how you've serviced, the community, what your services are, but more than just a website. They all go to all your social media and check everything out. And then when they go ahead and talk to you or set up that call, then they've already done their homework. And so they already kind of know who you are.
Where do you spend the most time? Where's your number one, if you're going to send somebody to your social media, where would you send them?
I would say at least Facebook. Yeah. Facebook, YouTube.
Okay. Wow.
Facebook and YouTube.
Yeah, YouTube's not easy, right? Because it's that can really work against you, I think, if your YouTube channel is awful.
Right.
Oh, my gosh, it could be bad. What about you, Sean?
Well, I don't have a YouTube channel yet. That's why I hired Jessica. So being my director of marketing, I'm hoping that she'll be able to expand and throw a
No
huge
pressure
net out
there.
there with the social media,
Yes.
right? But Facebook right now, we're really increasing our tempo with the content. And kind of like Emad alluded, it's really people looking at your Facebook and seeing really what kind of person you are, what kind of business do you have, are you plugged into the community?
Right.
Are you, nonprofit supports, which are so important. Just not just relationships, but personalities. People
Yes.
want a compatible personality, so I think that's important with the social media.
That's a huge point. A
Yes,
compatible
they want to
personality.
know if your personality matches theirs and if they can trust you. And people, now the statistics are in, it's 95% of the time they will check your social media first before your website.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
So
didn't
that
know
hasn't that has gone way up since last year's statistics. And then also going back on YouTube, it's not just the videos, but it's the shorts now. YouTube shorts have a higher reach than TikTok. So it's very important to utilize that. It's a free tool.
Yeah, we get about anywhere from, say, 700 or 800 to about 2,500 views per short that we do. Wow. And we've got, I don't know, at least 8 shorts a week, I think, that are going out. I think it might be more than that. Yeah. But yeah, that leads to the growth. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
But it keeps us relevant in that space. And
Oh, yeah.
so what about you, Genevieve? Where are you, like, if you had to send somebody to one of your social media channels, where would you send them?
Platforms would be Instagram for ours. With marketing, there's so many events that we're a part of and different clients. And so a lot of the behind the scenes is our bigger viewership. And Instagram is the best for that.
Cool.
I could see that. Yeah.
So let me I'm going to test y'all here, right?
All right.
So how many of you are using guides on Instagram now? So Emad, are you using guides yet?
no,
Do you know what they are?
no clue.
Okay, so it's like a mini blog
Ah,
on Instagram. And when you start it, it'll pop up. So when you do your first one, it'll pop up as like you can go to the grid and then the reels and
oh, I see.
that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Well, there's one for guides there as well, which is you can kind of walk somebody through the advantages of using your service, end of year preparation. These are some things you need to take a look at, and it's just organized from your posts. So yeah, I think I have 7 guides on there now. Yeah.
It's like a quick brochure, a quick business card.
Yes, I like that. Yeah, because it's more than just, a photo or something, which is,
Right.
it says a lot, but at least a guide kind of gives that background to it.
Yeah. See, are you guys pretty active on stories on Instagram?
Mark, I have failed you.
Oh, no.
We do not have Instagram.
Sorry, I put him on the spot. Jessica's working. No, what you say is it's in progress, Mark.
It
in
is in
progress,
progress.
yes.
And I will tell you, the one thing we are using to help guide us through that process is we're actually using AI. So we've incorporated that as part of our marketing strategy, and it's actually taught us a lot. So we are going to be moving into the Instagram, and that's great feedback because for us, it's new. So yeah, any information you guys have to share, that's going to be phenomenal.
So I'll tell you, you want to be in all areas of Instagram, but then tag, right? Is super important. Like when you go out and you're taking a picture at a business, we'll tag the business owner and tag a couple of the major players that are there so that you can get that reach that you're looking for. It has made a huge difference for us.
Yes, and make sure to do the geotagging, which is the location, too. That helps a lot.
Yep. Yeah. So when you tag, are you tagging like San Antonio, or do you actually tag the business you're at?
If you're at the business, tag them. But in the map part, tag the location of the business as well. So it's double. It does double.
Oh, okay. Not sure if I knew that or not. I'm always learning.
The more
something.
you learn.
My team better know it, though, dang it. They better know what's going on. All right, cool. So, yeah, it's business owners, you have to pay attention to social media. If you don't, there's like a void there. There's something that's missing from your online presence. If you
It's
don't
an
have
untapped resource if you're not utilizing it correctly.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think if we're not already there, I think we're close to where if you don't have it, it's a negative.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
and we're trying to solve that for sure.
Excellent.
And as long as someone on your team
Right.
has the idea or is doing it.
Yep.
Like necessarily Scene doesn't have to do it, but if he has someone like you were saying,
Yes.
he has a
Well, that's the
marketing
way you
director.
do it. You
Yeah.
do not try and do it yourself because it takes a lot of time to do it.
Exactly.
It's an employee position. It's like, at a restaurant, you have a hostess and then you have a waiter and then you have a chef, right? You're not going to try and fill those positions yourself. You just hire them out. So you can do what you need to do.
Consistency is the key when it comes to social media. So it's very important to have somebody there managing it all the time.
Yeah, and I have to admit, Jessica's been very aggressive since she's moved into that position. So it's been impressive.
Yes.
She's really, that's all she thinks about, content.
Exactly.
So, yeah, she's really been pushing the envelope, which I like.
Nice.
Love it.
All right. First up on the show is Emad Guirguis, a bookkeeping expert and the owner of Simply Bookkeeping. Emad, so end of the year is coming up.
That's right.
I got a message from my CPA last night, and he's like, "What are you trying to stress me out as we get close to the end of the year?" It's like, leave me alone. You know what I mean? It's in the evening. I'm trying to relax. But so what kind of things are you helping businesses with now towards the end of the year?
Well, Mark, you just brought up a fantastic point.
What, CPAs suck?
Well, not that. Stress.
There you go.
Stress, it is that time of year and no one wants to think about it, but it is inevitable. CPAs will reach out to you during the end of the year and they will remind you, hey, are your books up to date? Are your financials ready? Do you have that shoebox? If you say yes, they might run the other direction. So that's the good part about having a bookkeeper, right? So having a bookkeeper kind of takes that stress off the business owner's mind, right? So year end's coming. If you have a bookkeeper, hey, great, talk to my bookkeeper. That should have been your answer, and then you can continue to watch your show. So year end is coming.
But you're my bookkeeper. I should have said that. Oh my gosh! Now you tell me.
Exactly my
I'm
point.
totally gonna be like, I'm sorry, I'm not taking any questions right now. Call Emad.
Just call him. We'll take care of it. So that's our main point. Our main goal is not to only keep you in compliance, but to make sure that you're less stressed so that you can focus and do what you need to do. Whether that's actually work, watch TV shows. Hey, you do you, right? But year-end financials are really important because it helps consolidate everything that you've done for the entire year. So 2 things that you want to keep in mind for is, how have I done this year? And then how can I use these analytics to prepare for the following year? So that's always a big part. A lot of business owners, as you know, Mark, they're trying to grow, which is why we were talking about marketing earlier. A lot of businesses want to continue to grow. Very rarely do they want to stay stagnant, right? And so by understanding your numbers, evaluating, okay, where were your sales coming in mostly from this year? Where were most of your expenses? And taking all that data into consideration and helping you prepare for the following year usually helps that business grow. So a practice that we do for our current business owners who have been with us for the whole year is evaluate the progress from the beginning of the year to the end of the year. Now we're end of October.
Yeah.
2 days makes November. So we've got 10 months worth of data. So we're able to evaluate what's their percentage growth this year that they've been with us, and understanding their finances than they would have if they weren't with us. So that's always a great practice to run through and just show business owners. And it's not necessarily that we're giving the best advice in the world. We do give out some great advice, but it's by just being cognizant and being aware of where your financials are, help that business owner be more aware of what's going on with their actual business.
Yeah, that's really good. As far, as being a small business owner myself, when it comes to finances, that's the scary part for me. I'm a creative. So when it comes to numbers, I rely on my bookkeeper and my CPA. So when you're talking to a brand new business owner, I know that's usually in the back of their mind, I can't afford one, or maybe I should try to do it myself. What is one of the things that you would tell a brand new business owner when it comes to having a bookkeeper? And of course, the advantages of that versus doing it themselves.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's actually cheaper to hire a good bookkeeper because, and I'm sure y'all will back me up on this, but a good bookkeeper will help you stay in compliance. Also, they'll help you in avoiding those IRS fees, those IRS penalties, or interest rates. They add up really fast. So it only takes one bill within a year from any tax agency for it to overpass the cost of a good bookkeeper. So
that's a great point.
As well as, of course, all the benefits of having the bookkeeper themselves, which is, helping you with your numbers and your growth patterns.
Yeah, absolutely. What was that quote? They said, if you think hiring a professional is costly, when you hire an amateur, it's twice Twice as much,
Twice
right?
as much, absolutely.
Yeah, there's a lot of you don't know what you don't know. You know what I mean? And I think that's why what I like about the sit down, going over there. Is we haven't. I know we've got it coming up, but I'm looking forward to that. It's like, hey, this is what happened. As a business owner, maybe seeing you back me up on this part. It's not always fun to look at that. It can be a little bit like, I don't really want to see it. I'm too busy moving forward. But it's super important, right?
Yeah, I mean, you have to be honest with yourself as far as, I mean, cash flow's king, right? So, and being able to, recoup as much of those funds as possible to reinvest back in your business, your employees. The only way you can do that is if you have somebody like Emad who is that tax expert, that professional that can sit there and give you that business strategy that says, hey, here's where we started last year, here's where you are now. So next year, these are some corrections we need to make. And that's important to me because I'm not the tax expert. So I'm relying on folks like him to make sure he's keeping me in line with my goals for my end of year, for the next year, for the following year, not just this year, because this year's done. So that's what's important to me.
And Emad, do you pair up pretty well with payroll services?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Have you guys ever met?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay,
Yeah.
good.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
like,
We've got a couple clients.
oh, good.
Oh, nice. See, networking.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, this is the best relationship in town. I mean,
Absolutely.
payroll and CPA and accountants. I mean, some CPAs and accountants do payroll, but and I can't speak for you, Emma, but most of them hate doing payroll. It's a whole different entity, and that's why a lot of the payroll companies evolved. But I mean, this is the best relationship in town.
Wow. Okay.
Got to have a good CPA that can complement your payroll and vice versa.
Oh, you see that we found a financial trilogy.
Right. No, exactly.
You
That's
named
exactly
it.
right.
Yep.
Yeah, and we learn a lot off each other too.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, there's some gray areas in there where we cross a lot. We cross pollinate, as I say, and that's important to.
And as we talk more about scene services and payroll, it's a huge benefit to have that trio, like that trilogy partnership, like you're saying, because a bookkeeper stays in his lane, which does the monthly, but I don't necessarily do payroll. So I pass it off to a payroll company such as Scene. And so when he's done with his part, I consolidate into the bookkeeping. And then once I'm done, I pass it off to the CPA. So the good part is it gets checked 3 times. So the accuracy is also a lot higher when you have that 3 partnered
Yeah, absolutely. I
accounting
love that.
strategy.
Yeah.
Well, I guess it's, partnering with the right or teaming up with the right CPA and the right payroll companies. You know what I mean? Because once you know a good one and you guys can work well together, there's a synergy there that you guys can all grow together as well, too. I love networking. You know what I mean? And you're a pretty strong networker yourself. What's new with your business? Give us an update.
Updates are great. We've worked on efficiency lately. Efficiency's been key within our business. So I know a lot of people are implementing AI. We're implementing how to accurately be able to collect data from clients in an efficient way so that we don't have to constantly send out email reminders. To also be able to track all of the requests that we've sent out. As you get a kind of in the higher amount of clients, you tend to lose, did I ask so-and-so for these items? Did I ask so-and-so? So now we've implemented a system to be able to track everything, which has increased our efficiency so much that we've actually been able to, each bookkeeper has been able to handle a lot more accounts than they were before. Actually, a 20% increase across all. So it's been very efficient for us, and it's also very effective for our clients because the way we present it is a very easy way for them to respond, which makes them more involved in a way. We're always trying to interest them in a department that's maybe not so interesting. So
Right.
One of the things that I like about what AI is doing is it's helping take care of all the nonsense stuff that I don't want to have to do, and then getting it to me in a way, but it still has to be checked by a human in a lot of cases, right?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, just using ChatGPT, for example, it's like, it's kind of silly some of the way that it writes things, but you got to go back over it. So you can't completely trust AI, but using AI with humans, like you say, is going to improve efficiency because it cuts down on a lot of the nonsense of aggregation that can happen. It's just like, get it to me and then organize it, and then I'll make sure that it's good and present it to the client or whatever. Exactly. Is that how you Never seen it.
So our AI process is very small. It's just in organizing folders that come in. So say, for example, I ask you for a bunch of statements. What it'll do is it'll organize them all by bank, and then it'll put it in our system for us to know exactly where to look. So it takes a couple seconds out, but as you repeat that over and over across, quite a bit of clients, it saves a couple hours.
Gets rid of the unfun work.
Yeah. and it's a piece that can't be mistaken, and it's very simple. So
yeah, and as your business
evolving.
scales, when you use AI or different programs with to help with efficiency, it also kind of helps you maintain the small business feel, to have that relationship and, to still have that narrative that even though your business is scaling, you still have time for that client.
Absolutely. Yep. And that's something that we like to focus on. So although most of our clients are monthly subscription and they are happy to call us at any time, we also like to reach out and say, okay, hey, it's nearing year end. Let's have a look through your books. And usually it's the other way around. You never hear the CPA reaching out to say, hey, let's review your finances together, just because we want to see that you're doing well. So by us doing that, it really helps that business owner say, oh, you know what? These guys actually care. They want to see us grow, which is a big thing for us. I mean, that's part of our passion.
Oh yeah, that's a big deal for any business owner. They're busy focusing on doing what they do best. But when they've got somebody like you on their team, they know that their money's being handled properly. So that's very helpful.
All right, Emad, if folks want to reach out to you, how do they do that?
Yeah, absolutely. They can actually call me directly if they'd like at 832-518-9368, or they can check out our awesome website at SimpliBookkeeping.com, and that's simply with an I, SIMPLI, and then a double K in bookkeeping.
And double O, double K.
That's right.
Is there one P, though? It's just one
There
P.
you
All right, thanks, Emad. Always a pleasure to have you on the show.
Thanks again, Mark.
All right, next up on the show is Sean Pettit, the owner of Payroll Vault, a family-owned and disabled American veteran-owned business that provides payroll services. So, Sean, give me a little bit of your background and then how you ended up in the Payroll Vault service.
So, retired military, retired Air Force, security forces. And after I retired from the Air Force, my boss just turned my sign around and made me a government civilian. And so I did that until about February 2018. And about a year before I was leaving the government, I thought to myself, what am I going to do with the rest of my life? So I had this great idea to start a business, which was really never on the radar. And not looking in the payroll space because I was not a numbers person. My wife actually convinced me that was the way to go, and she is a numbers person, absolutely loves numbers. And so we invested in Payroll Vault, and it's been a blessing. We've absolutely loved it, and it's been a great space.
Bring your mic up just a little bit.
Oh, I'm
There you
sorry.
go. Okay, so security force in the Air Force. How long were you in?
So I was, excuse me. So I was medically retired, actually, after 13 years, 1 month and 1 day.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right. What, did you get out here in San Antonio?
No, actually, Los Angeles, California, where I was based.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
How many bases did you go to before you got out?
6.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. I was only at 3.
Yeah, and that includes my deployments. And then when I was at the end of my career in the military and the beginning of the government, I did a lot of traveling for my job.
All right. What rank did you get out at?
Tech Sergeant, E6.
E6. Rock on. All right. So your wife was more the numbers person,
She is.
and you really weren't, but then you ended up at Payroll Vault. So how did the selection of Payroll Vault, was that? Is it a franchise you bought? Did you make up the name?
No, it is. It's a franchise. And interestingly enough, when my wife, had asked me, hey, what do you think about payroll? I was dead set against it. And Payroll Vault as a core company and franchisor, they have what they call Discovery Day. And so even on the plane, I was kicking and screaming, I don't want to do payroll. And so
That's how we feel.
I
too.
was a big baby. I was just distraught. So anyway, so we got the Colorado where they're based out of, and when I met the creators of Payroll Vault, and being military, you have to rely on people. The communication has to be there. You have to have support, the backup support. You always have to trust that the guy next to you is doing his job, or the gal next to you is doing her job. And I got that feeling communicating with them. I was like, wow, these folks are really here to make us successful. It wasn't just about the franchise. It was about the franchisee. And when I left, I was like, I am all bought in. And we just jumped in straight away. And as a company, most payroll vaults have evolved from a CPA firm or accounting firm. We're one of the few that did not. Oh. And we currently, out of the 70 some Payroll Vault franchisees in the nation, we are typically number 3 or number 4 in the nation as far as productivity. We do have the most payroll clients as far as employees that we pay across the nation. So that, just as far as creds, we've worked really hard the last 6 years, and we're still fairly one of the youngest. So really proud of that. And like I said, I look back now and I'm like, if I knew what I knew today, I would have started way sooner.
Oh, wow.
So you got entrepreneur in the blood. Did you know it?
Unknowingly, yeah. I mean, I had no idea that we could be successful business. And like I said, it was never on the radar. So, I'm, again, not knowing I was going to do it through my rest of my life, business, I was very surprised. And then when the networking aspect came to play, because, in the military and the government, you're not really networking. So
it's a top-down network.
Right.
It's
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So once I started networking and, felt comfortable doing that and getting a lot of feedback, I was like, wow, I'm pretty good at this. And, so again, now at this point, I have to find somebody who can complement that and do better than I can. So now we have Jessica, and, she's going to take over that space. And again, very excited. It's been an awesome ride. I'm looking forward to the future and doing great things.
Let's talk about the mission of your company. What's the mission in your mind of the company?
So when we started our business, me and my wife always, it sounds cliche, we were like, hey, we served our country, because my wife worked in the government as well. And I'm like, now we want to serve our community. And we didn't want to just be a, Payroll Vault in San Antonio. We wanted to be, hey, that's Payroll Vault. They support nonprofits. They're plugged into the community. They're not just here. Everybody's in business to make money, but that's not what we wanted to be known for. So we really want to leave a legacy that's going to be where, San Antonio community looks at us and says, hey, they're really plugged in. They're really helping our small business community and our nonprofits and the services here in San Antonio. So, and the service we provide. I mean, we want to take care of small businesses. So, fair price, doing a great job with our customer care, as I call it. That's important to me. So I definitely want to leave a legacy for sure.
I love that. And I think that's what makes a difference with businesses, is when they have that servant's heart to help the community and help their people first, above and beyond. And that really takes your company up to the next level.
Right. And that's really, it's exactly how I feel. And just point made. So we're part of the top 5 offices in Payroll Vault. So not a lot happens unless it kind of runs through those 5 offices.
Wow.
So, and, one thing I had brought up, because we have a lot of awards in Payroll Vault, national awards. And I had suggested, I'm like, well, the owners can win awards all day, and we can look great and do all those things. I said, but it's really, as Mark referred to, the boots on the ground that really do the hard, heavy lifting and the work.
Right.
And so I'd suggested, hey, let's do an award, but it really could be for anybody. And the employees have to be involved in that as well, because they have to feel like they're recognized for the hard work they do.
Yes.
So interestingly enough, they had a community award come out.
There you go.
And Mark will tell you, writing award packages in the military is a gift and a talent. Jessica, my new marketing director, she has a servant's heart. She does a lot in the community, to include with her church. So I was like, she is the perfect person to do this award for.
Oh.
And so we submitted her for the award, and guess what? She won the community award.
Yes, congratulations,
So, all Payroll
Jessica.
Vault and all the awards that were
That's
submitted, she won it. And so, again, it goes back to not just being a Payroll Vault and in business and being successful. It's really about being something that people remember and, being appreciated for what we do.
Yes, and that starts with the team.
It does.
Recognizing the
yes.
talent within your team.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes, and creating an environment for them to grow.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, and that makes them happier. The morale's higher. You know what I mean? They feel like they're not just an employee, but they're also, servant and plugged in and relevant. You know what I mean? I like all of that. Okay, so that's one way your company stands out, certainly, is how you value the employees, how you value the community and plug in. But when it comes to your services, how do you stand out there? What's like something you'd be like, well, this is a no-brainer why you'd want to pick Payroll Vault?
Yeah, our client managers, who are our payroll processors, they all have an individual book of clients, so they know their client by first name. They know how many employees they have, what's unique about their payroll. And to me, when a client can call and their client manager picks up the phone, and they're on a first name basis, and the client doesn't have to repeat themselves about, hey, remember my one employee that gets a bonus, or we have commissions, and that just buys so much love and integrity, and just to me, having people answer the phone is the start.
Right.
I mean, you hear so many times people dial customer service, and it's a 1-800 number, and they get transferred, and then they end up being back where they started because they have to listen to the selection menu again to try and do it over again.
Yeah.
So we don't want to do that. We want to make sure that our clients, who are busy business owners, they want to pick up the phone, get their client manager on the phone, get their employee paid, make sure their employee's happy, because employee retention's huge today. And that's what we're great at. We are really good at that. And that's not something many other payroll companies can do.
Yeah. And I've actually got a story for Sean. I've got a couple clients with him, and anytime we've ever had any payroll issues, which payroll issues pop up from time to time, it's common. But they are super helpful. I mean, you call, they already know the accounts, they know the situation, they're there to help. It's in and out, done, I would say 15, 30 minutes tops. Whereas, if you're picking a large corporation, you have to explain the story. It has to go into a file system, and then it's probably about 30 days before it gets resolved. I mean, because it has to go through so many filters for it to actually go through. If, for example, we're doing a payroll correction that was missed, it will take 20 to 30 days. Whereas with them, it's 15, 30 minutes. You have the manager on the phone, and then you get it done there. So it's a significant difference.
That's a great value to be able to provide that for your business owners.
Yeah, it really is, and we get a lot of great feedback. We get a lot of good Google reviews, and that's another thing. When we started the company, everybody talks about, hey, you're the face of the company. Well, I don't want to be the face of the company. I want my client managers to be the face of the company, because that's who our clients are really dealing with. So I love when we get a Google review and I see our client managers' names in that review. And if I don't see their name in the review, I know whose client that is. I make sure I reply and put the client manager's name in there just to reflect the positivity, and we recognize what a great job they're doing. So that's another thing that's important to me.
I love that. There's that book from Simon Sinek, Leaders Eat Last.
You know what? That is exactly true. And that is one thing that me and my wife, Rebecca, that's our mentality.
Yeah.
Last, because it is really about growing this business and making it bigger than just ourselves.
Right.
And it goes back to the culture. like you alluded, Mark. It's making sure that the staff is happy, and very rarely do I refer to them as my staff, and I actually hate doing that because I always say they're my team, or we're part of the team, and because I want them to feel like this isn't just us; it's our business, because it's us who make it successful. When we make it successful, guess what? They benefit from it. So that's what we want to see.
Yeah,
it's the truth of the matter anyway. Because as the CEO or the president of the company, you don't run the company. You know what I mean? You're a decision maker. You're important, but the company runs on everybody, right?
Yes.
So it certainly is a team effort. Unless you're a job owner, right? You're a one man show or one woman show. That's different, but. No, certainly not on a real organization.
Right, and it's even hard to make decisions because, in a vacuum and by myself or with my wife, because they're the boots on the ground. They're the ones in the weeds. They see all the operational aspects and, where there may be some limb facts that need to be corrected or maybe a process improvement. Hey, this would make it easier on us and make us more efficient. How can we solve this problem? And having that buy-in it's worth its weight in gold. It's like cash flow to me.
Yes.
It's fun too, right?
It is.
It's so different. It's a whole different way of operating a business when you have your team leaders and you because they know what's going on, and then the people on their team, they know what's going on, and you don't make decisions on their team without getting their buy-in, because that's stupid. You're looking to make a mistake if you don't have all the information.
Yeah, and it kind of reflected on a story back when I was working in the government. I had a gentleman that worked for me, and he was a little older, and and it was the cliche thing, he's old school, and with the younger, we always talk about millennials, Gen Z, and he was beside himself as somebody asked him why.
Oh,
and in some cases, if you just answer the why, whether it was the right answer or the wrong answer or what they wanted to hear, you still feed that need for that information, and it can also, get you to the next level, right, in that decision-making process. And I've always had the mindset, even, in the government and even more so now, if you listen long enough and let them be creative and let them provide input and be part of that decision-making process, you start revealing the individual creativity that they have and kind of glom onto those bits of expertise that, at the end of the day, that decision, again, you can be a self-proclaimed expert all you want.
Right, right.
But when it's revealed to you that, well, there's somebody else that's a little more creative in this aspect, and this makes a better solution.
Right.
To me, I get excited about that.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
Mine, too, in the creative field. When I hire creative managers, I'm like, I'm not going to micromanage. Let's hear what you have to say.
Exactly.
And that's when the real creativity happens.
It really
because
does.
honestly, if I had all the answers,
what fun would that be?
Probably would not be as much fun.
Right.
All right, we are out of time on our segment, but seeing if folks want to get in touch with you, how do they do that?
They can call me directly, and I always love to give out my cell number, 210-289-4674. And you can go to our website, which is www.payrollvault.com/143. And we can also get me an email. It's scan.pettit@payrollvault.com.
Thanks, Sean. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
So how was the first time on the podcast then?
Awesome. I
How
loved
did
it.
it feel?
I love the format. Great guests, good friends.
Fantastic.
So yeah, this is excellent. Really like the format, and thank you for having me.
Oh,
Cool. I'm
that's
going
our
to make a commercial out of that right there.
Yes.
All right. As we wrap up the show, quick reminder to check out our latest podcast to catch video versions of the show anytime by visiting our website at satalkradio.com. Genevieve, how was your first show as a co-host?
Oh, man, this is amazing. You guys, wow. I love listening to the heart and soul of every business owner, and I think you guys have what it takes. And for everybody listening out there, especially if you are a business owner, I hope you're taking notes because they dropped some really gold nuggets today, especially when it comes to the heart of your business.
Thanks.
Awesome.
I love that.
All right. Great job, everybody. We'll see you on the next one.
All right.
Wonderful.
You guys soon.